What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Alright, so we are going to continue our coverage over Daredevil, except now we pick up with Charles Soule's run. And man, let me tell y'all, this run is amazing. Now, when it came to me getting back into comics, one of the first few books I picked up was Daredevil, written by Charles. And let me say, y'all, Soule did an amazing job when it came to the character of Daredevil. And really for me personally, when it comes to the best writers on Daredevil in the modern time of comics, for me, it's Bendis and also Soule. Now, I'm not saying, hey, Ed did not do a good job, nor did Mark or even Chip. But for me personally, it was these two who did a great job with the character of Daredevil. And really, I have not read all of Chip's run yet. So I feel like when it comes to Chip's run, I'm going to fall in love with that run as well, because all I heard was great things about Chip's run on the character. But when it comes to Soule, he does pick up not exactly right after Wade's run. It's really more a few months have passed by. And we see that he's trying to repair some damage that was done to the character in Bendis, Ed, and also Mark's run on the character. For example, putting back his secret identity. Because remember, when it came to Bendis' run, the world found out that Matt Murdock was Daredevil. And that stayed around for a very long time in Ed's run, in Mark's run, and really in Mark's run, it was really important when the world found out that Matt Murdock was Daredevil. But this is Soule saying that has to change. It all has to go back to normal. And so Volume 1 begins that process. And so as we dive into today's story, we pick up with Matt Murdock back in black. Now that's really huge because in the past, Matt has worn different kinds of outfits as Daredevil. Yellow, red, black, the list goes on. But for me personally, the black suit works very well in the early parts of this run. Now, when it comes to Matt Murdock, we do learn that he's back in New York. That's really huge because at the end of Mark's run, we saw Matt in San Francisco still. And even though his life was ruined over there, we were left to wonder what would happen to Matt after the end of that run. Now we know he's back in New York, and currently we see him trying to the life of a character known as Billy Lee. Now Billy, we are going to learn more about the character as the story goes on, but apparently he belongs to a gang that all work for a new character known as Tenfingers. Now Tenfingers is a very interesting character that we are also going to learn more about the character down the road in this story. But when it comes to the different gang members, we can tell they try really hard to please their boss. They want to make sure that they actually succeed when it comes to the different missions that he offers them. And so when it comes to Billy, they're trying to drown him. He's no longer part of that gang, and they want to make sure that he stays dead. And even though Matt, Daredevil, jumps into the waters to save Billy, they're standing around. They want confirmation that both characters have drowned so that when they go back to Tenfingers, he will reward them. And they love rewards that come from him. But once you have Matt being able to save the life of Billy, you then have Matt being able to go back and fight against the different gang members. Now, in the middle of the fight, we begin to learn that Matt has taken in a sidekick or a trainee, and that would be Blindspot. Now, Blindspot has the ability to be invisible. Now, it's not really his ability, it's more the suit that he made that gives him that ability, which honestly gives Matt the edge against different kinds of enemies, including these gang members at the moment. And so at first, all their focus is on Matt, but then out of nowhere, they begin to see that different members of their team is being taken out by an unknown force. It's Blindspot. Now, once you do have our two heroes being able to stop these gang members, you did have Blindspot leave and Matt grabs Billy to take him to somewhere safe for the time being. And so you have Matt take Billy somewhere safe, and that would be the apartment of Foggy Nelson, Matt's old best friend. Now, here's the thing, because when it comes to Matt Murdock and Foggy, they have been best friends for many years in Marvel Comics. Except when you have Matt bring Billy over to the apartment of Foggy, it seems they are no longer friends. But you also have Foggy say, "I hate you because now I am the only person who knows that you are Daredevil." That's really important because at the end of Mark's run, the entire world knew that Matt was Daredevil. What did Matt do to change that, to make sure that only Foggy knows that he is Daredevil? And also we see that because of that, Foggy really hates Matt a lot. Now, we also learn that Matt Murdock is back to being a lawyer in New York again, because the reason why he went out of his way to save the life of Billy, because Billy can be used in his next case to hopefully bring down Tenfingers. And so you have Matt leaving, say, "Hey, I need him to stay here because it's safe here. In the morning, I'll get him and I'll take him over to the courthouse." When it comes to Foggy, he says, "Listen, this is the last time I am ever going to help you." And we do get confirmation that Matt is a lawyer again, except now he is sitting in a new role. See, usually when it comes to Matt, he is a defense attorney. Not anymore. Now he is an assistant to the district attorney. He is now a prosecuting attorney. And when it comes to Matt Murdock, we do learn why he was trying his best to protect Billy earlier. See, Billy is part of the Tenfinger gang. When it comes to Billy, he is hoping to use Billy as a way to go after the other lieutenants in that gang. And then hopefully at the end, go after Tenfinger to bring down the entire cult. Now, when it comes to Billy, he's scared of the idea to testify because he feels like sooner or later Tenfinger will try to kill him again. Now, this is another example of why Matt Murdock works so hard to separate his Matt Murdock life and his Daredevil life, because he tells Billy, "And that is why I called up Daredevil, to use him as a way to protect you so that you will be able to live long enough to help me out with this case, so that I'll be able to shut down the Tenfinger cult." And for Billy, he kind of feels like it's not fair because Billy is so scared he wants to back out. But Matt says, "You can't back out because you are an informant. Everyone knows that you are now. And so if you back out, I can no longer protect you. And then you will most likely die for sure. So you have one option. Help me, be protected, and help me bring down the entire Tenfinger gang." Now, I want to jump back over to what I said earlier when it comes to the different gang members and how much they try to please their boss, to please their master when it comes to the task that he puts out for them. You see, when it comes to the Tenfinger gang, these different members, they are so down with the idea of working so hard to get their reward, except their reward is not usual when it comes to most gangs. See, if you are able to accomplish a certain task for Tenfinger, you are able to give up one of your fingers, and that is really huge. Now, we are going to learn more why that's a huge thing, but when it comes to the gang members who were assigned to kill off Billy, they were hoping to accomplish that goal, because if they did, they will be able to give up one of their fingers to their master, Tenfinger, possibly two. And they hate the idea that they are not able to do that. And so even though they failed, it seems like they get to live, but they're unable to give up one of their fingers. And that's just crazy and wild. But you see, that leads into one big question. How in the world was Tenfinger able to reach this point in life where he is a gang leader, a powerful one? And we kind of find out he didn't start out like that. Instead, he tried to build up a church. Well, he was able to build up a church. See, when it comes to Tenfingers, he has powers. Now, I'm going to explain what those powers are and what they can do down the road in the video. But for right now, he used those powers as a way to pull in people. And the people that he targeted was undocumented immigrants, because those people, they needed somewhere to feel safe. And that is what he offered them by saying, hey, if you come to my church, you'll feel safe. You'll have a place to call home. But if you do that, I only ask for one thing in return: everything you have. And when it came to those people, they said, hey, we don't have much, but we'll do whatever we can to actually have a home, to feel safe. And that was how he was able to build up his gang. Now, what also helped out was that he told them, if you help me out, I can use my powers as a way to reward you, to give you something, to make you special. And then the church just continued to grow. But as the church grew, so did his gang, and the ability to rise up as a powerful gang leader in New York. And that is why when it comes to Matt, he wants to use Billy as a way to bring down this cult. That's why he said it's not really a gang, it's really more of a cult. And that is why Tenfingers wants to remove Billy so bad, because Billy can begin a domino effect that could most likely get rid of the entire gang. And so while you have Matt Murdock getting ready for the next court session and to hopefully use Billy as a way to begin the domino effect, you have a group of people who are working for Tenfinger break into the courthouse. Now, the leader of this group is a character known as Samuel, and he's going to be very important. But when it comes to Samuel, his goal is to assassinate not just Billy, but also Matt. But he does not do that. Instead, what he does, he breaks into the courthouse and takes fingers of Billy back over to Tenfingers. Because like I said earlier, when it comes to the different gang members of this group, their big reward is to cut off their fingers. It's a way to say, we are very loyal to you, and hopefully you'll use your powers on us. And so when it comes to Billy, he was supposed to die, but instead he gave his fingers to show his appreciation, his loyalness to Tenfinger. And there goes Matt Murdock's case against Tenfingers, because the only witness is no longer a witness. He will no longer testify. But that's also a problem for Samuel, because he was assigned to kill off Billy. He didn't do that. This was a test. See, if Samuel was able to kill off Billy, he would get a promotion, a higher rank in the organization. And we also kind of find out that Samuel's mother is part of the organization, and she's high up there. She told Tenfingers, give my son a chance. And that was his chance. Now, this is not him getting kicked out of the entire organization, but he's no longer welcome into the inner circle. And so he has to go out there again to prove himself that he is able to be part of the inner circle. But later on that night, we pick up with Matt Murdock training Blindspot. And really, it's more of Matt wanting Blindspot to realize what he is getting himself into, because this is not just a regular life being a hero. You're going to a world where you might possibly die. People around you might possibly die. But at the same time, you need to learn how to adapt in different kinds of situations. Now, while you have the training going on, we do learn more about Blindspot and why he became a hero. Because of his area of New York, Chinatown, because Chinatown is just looked at as an area that is full of undocumented immigrants. And a lot of times people do not know how to help out the people of Chinatown. They're kind of on their own. And he hates the idea of that because now Tenfingers is ruining his neighborhood. And so that is why he works so hard to become a hero. And Matt understands what Blindspot is going through. But you do have the two characters break into the base of Tenfingers to hopefully gather more information. And it works out for them because as soon as they arrive, they see two people who were able to accomplish a certain goal for Tenfingers. And their reward is him using his powers on them. And it seems like once he is able to use his powers on them, they begin to get stronger. Now, here's the thing, because once he does use his powers, Matt Murdock realized the type of energy that he is using. That technically that power is not Tenfingers' powers. It belongs to somebody else. And Matt knows who it belongs to because you see, once you take it from them without their permission, they are going to be very upset. And no matter what, they'll come after you until they are able to give back what you stole. And that group is the Hand. Now, when it comes to the Hand, they are basically a group of ninjas that worship a demonic being known as the Beast. But they hate the idea if someone takes their powers for their own. And Matt knows what happens when it comes to the Hand coming after you. They're not going to stop. They are going to continue to come after you no matter what you do. And so this is Matt saying, look at what you did, Tenfingers. You put all these different people in danger. They were innocent people before you gave them your powers that apparently came from the Hand. Now, we also learned that when it comes to Tenfingers, he was part of the Hand. That was how he was able to gain some of their abilities or take some of their powers for his own. But either way, it's now the Hand coming after him and the entire church. And Matt is just trying his best to stop the fighting, but to also help out the innocent people that are now involved thanks to Tenfingers. Now, you do have everyone being able to work together to take out this group of the Hand, but Matt warns them. He said, you may have won this battle, but I'm telling you right now, down the road, they are going to come back for you guys together or when you guys are separate. Letting you know now, this is not over at all. And what Matt is saying is really true. But after the battle, you do have Matt Murdock meet up with Blindspot. Now, when they meet up, you have Matt saying Tenfingers should have known what he was doing was completely wrong if he was part of the Hand. He should have known if he does take their powers, they were going to come after him and most likely try to kill him. And so this is Matt saying there must be something else up his sleeve right now when it comes to his entire organization or his entire church. What is Tenfingers truly trying to pull off here? Now, you do have Matt tell Blindspot to go check in with the night nurse to look over his injuries, but you do have the two characters go their separate ways. But once Matt gets back to work the next day, he learns that he is getting demoted because of what happened with Billy Lee, his witness. The one person who could truly begin the domino effect that would bring the end to Tenfingers' gang is no longer around. He basically jumped ship and now back with Tenfingers. And so because of that, it's now Matt Boss, Mr. Hochberg saying, you failed the city. You failed the case. We had the ability to bring down an entire gang. And because what happened to your witness, the FBI is no longer going to try to go after Tenfingers. And so because of that and this failure of yours, you have been demoted. So yes, you still have a job, but you're not where you used to be anymore. Now, Matt is very upset because he feels like with his skills, he deserves the right to have another chance. But the problem is, this was his first big case to show off his skills. And so now because he failed, he's no longer able to show off the skills that he has. Now, while you have Matt on his way back to his office, he does get word that someone is there to talk to him. And so Matt heads over to his office, except when he arrives to his office, he is confronted by Tenfingers, because Tenfingers now knows, well, been knowing, that Matt Murdock has been trying his best to get rid of him. And now the two characters are going to have a conversation with one another. But before we are able to see the conversation between Daredevil and also Tenfingers, we jump into the future, which by this point is really the present day, where we see Daredevil helping out Steve Rogers with a situation happening in Steve's neighborhood. Now, around this time, Steve Rogers was no longer Captain America. He lost his super soldier serum, so he aged up, and you now have Sam Wilson being Captain America. Now, the reason why Matt had called up Steve, because yes, they were close friends, but Steve was always the guy who was able to tell someone if they did something wrong or what they are doing is actually right. And so when it comes to Matt, he wants to know if he did something right. And what he means by that is not about Tenfinger, about taking away his secret identity from the entire world. Now, when it comes to Matt Murdock and Tenfinger's conversation, when we jump back to it, it's really more of Tenfingers trying to paint a picture of himself as a god, not the God, but a God to the people of his church, because he used the powers of the hand to be able to give people a shelter, to give people the ability to make a life for their own in their area. And so when it comes to Tenfingers, he says, Matt, you're trying to paint a picture that I'm some bad guy, that I'm some criminal, some gang leader. But you have no proof of that. Instead, all the proof you do have is really more of me being a great person. Yes, I may have taken the powers of the hand for my own to help out the people in need. Yes, I may have done that, and I may have made them targets, but it was still me trying to do something good to help out my community. And so it's Tenfingers leaving the office of Matt, but it's him saying, I want you to realize that you are trying to go after a man who's really loved in his area. What does that have to say about you? But getting back to the present day, we do learn that Matt Murdock is helping out Steve Rogers take down a group of characters who turn an apartment building into a drug house. And so you have Matt trying his best to shut down the entire lab. Now, while doing that, we get reminded that the entire world had forgotten that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. But the reason why I am bringing it up now, because Steve Rogers and Matt, they were close friends. Steve knew that Matt was Daredevil. And so for Matt, he hates the idea someone he looks up to, that he was close to, no longer knows that he is Daredevil. And that is his big question. Did he do the right thing when it came to hiding his secret identity again, taken away from everybody in the world except Foggy? Now you have Charles Soule give us another example of why the friendship between Matt and Steve was so important, because now Steve has no idea that Daredevil is blind. When Matt is able to take out most of the drug lords in this apartment building, he finds out they had set the place to blow up. But Matt cannot give all the details that Steve needs to know what kind of bomb it actually is, because Steve has no idea that Matt is blind. And so Matt has no choice but to find one of the drug lords to kind of help him out to tell Steve what kind of bomb this truly is. But then we jump back over to the character we met earlier known as Samuel. Now remember, Samuel was trying to move up the rank when it came to Tenfingers' gang. We kind of find out why he has been trying to get into the inner circle of Tenfingers' group, because of his mother. And we knew earlier that his mother was in the inner circle, but what he is trying to do is get his mom out of the gang completely, because his mom, and like most members of the church, they believe that Tenfinger has done a great job for the community. But when it comes to Samuel, he believes that that's actually wrong, that he believes that Tenfinger has done more harm than good for the community. Now, when it comes to Samuel, we learned that he is Blindspot. And so now we kind of know why Blindspot have been really trying to bring down Tenfingers for. One, because his mother, but two, because of his community. And right now, he's trying to show his mom, I'm Blindspot. You see what I'm trying to do. You see that I am trying to save our home, to save our people, to save our community. But when it comes to his mother, she is not trying to listen because she's so deep into the church, her mind is all about Tenfingers. But by the time we jump back over to Matt and Steve, we see that Matt was able to stop the bomb, but to also stop some drug lords from getting away and save the day. But it leads into Matt and Steve conversation. Now, their convo is really more of Matt wondering if he did the right thing by making sure the entire world had forgotten who he was, that he was Daredevil. He wants to know, he wants somebody on his side to confirm that he did make the right choice. Or how will he know that it was the right choice? But the problem Steve says is that I cannot answer that question for you because one, I have no idea what you are talking about, but two, it's your life, not mine. The only person who can say, hey, you know what, that choice, it was worth it, it comes down to you. And so hopefully sooner or later you'll know your choice was actually worth it or not. But getting back over to Samuel, Blindspot, he's trying his best to convince his mom to leave. He gives her another example, the idea that sooner or later the hand is going to try again to kill off Tenfingers and anybody who works for him. And really, he was right, because as soon as he says that, the hand reappeared, and now they're trying to kill off everyone in the church who has been working with Tenfinger the entire time. Now we kind of find out the creature name is better known as the Fist, and usually the Fist is used to go after different people who have done something wrong towards the hand. Now when it comes to the Fist, it's trying to kill off every single person who is part of this church, including Tenfinger. Now when it comes to Tenfinger, he locks everybody in the main room because he wants everybody to watch and see if he is able to take down the Fist. He believes that he is able to take down the Fist because if he does that, that trust between him and his people will grow even more. And so his goal is to at least attempt to take down this powerful creature. But Blindspot knows that this can go south very quickly, and so Blindspot used Twitter as a way to communicate with Daredevil because Blindspot knows that he has at least 50,000 followers, and he asked all his followers to say one phrase and hoping that at least one of his followers is nearby Daredevil, which he is lucky because there was one who does say the phrase. And as soon as Matt hears the phrase, he knows, okay, Blindspot needs my help. Let me head over there now to see what in the world is currently going on. But getting back over to the church, we see Tenfinger trying to take down the Fist. Now, here's the thing. Key word there was try, because the Fist is too powerful. And even though Tenfinger has taken power from the hand, the power he has taken is not strong enough to take down the Fist. Now, as soon as Tenfinger realized that, he gives his powers over to some of his followers because he knows the Fist will go after them first before going after him, because right now its main goal is to retrieve the power that was stolen from the hand. And once it does that, then kill everyone in the church. And this is Tenfinger hoping that it will give him enough time to get the heck out of there. Now, Matt Murdock, he shows up and he tries his best to fight against the Fist. But while doing that, you have Tenfinger tell his inner circle, kill off all our believers, kill every single member of the church, because now I realize we have to leave and start somewhere else. He now knows because they saw him not being able to kill off the Fist, he now knows he is going to lose the trust of his followers. So why not go ahead and kill off every single one of them and try his best to start a church somewhere else in the world? But as soon as you have Tenfinger tell his inner circle, you have Blindspot trying his best to protect those people from the fist, but now protecting them from the inner circle of Tenfinger's gang. And let's not forget that Blindspot's mother is part of that inner circle. And so when she realized what her mission is, she now knows she has to go through her son. And this could possibly lead into a battle between them. But while you have Tenfinger's inner circle trying their best to fix his mess, he begins the process of trying to escape, except somebody else walks into the room. And when they do, bam, they are able to kill him off just like that. But we're left to wonder who had possibly did it. And you really had the story wrap up very quickly when it comes to the final 3 pages of this story, because you do have Matt being able to find Tenfinger, except he finds Tenfinger hanging off the wall and of course being dead. And when it comes to Blindspot, we see that he was able to fight against the inner circle, but was saved by his mother. His mother realized that she does not want to see the death of her son at this moment in time. But she does tell him, I'm leaving. Don't come looking for me at all. You wanted to be the hero of this community, and now you are. Goodbye, hopefully forever, son. And then you have our 2 heroes being able to regroup, and they both believe in the idea that it was the hand who had killed off Tenfinger. But they have no idea of the possibility it was someone else. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.